Ladies and gentlemen, you were not born to live in fear. You were not born to be average. You were not born to settle. You were born to win, to soar, and to shine. But that only becomes your truth when you learn to activate the power of positivity in your life. That's right, positivity is your power source. And if you don't tap into it, you are running your life on low battery. Let me tell you something. Life will test you. Life will punch you in the gut, knock you to your knees, and sometimes leave you in tears. But the difference between the person who rises and the one who stays down is mindset, and not just any mindset, a positive one. That doesn't mean you lie to yourself. That doesn't mean you ignore the pain. That means you decide that no matter what it looks like right now, it's not how your story ends. Your words have power. Your beliefs shape your behavior, and your thoughts, they determine your future. So you've got to speak life into your situation. You've got to say, I don't know how, but I will find a way. I don't know when, but I will rise again. I don't have it yet, but I'm working on it every single day. That's the language of a champion. That's the voice of someone who refuses to give up. See, a lot of people think positivity is about being fake. They say, I'm just being realistic. But listen, being realistic is the quickest path to mediocrity. Realism tells you to stay safe, stay small, stay stuck. Positivity, it tells you to keep going. It tells you to try one more time. It tells you to get up even when everything inside you wants to quit. Let me ask you a question. What are you feeding your mind? Because whatever you feed it, that's what's growing. If you feed it fear, guess what? You're gonna live in anxiety. But if you feed it faith, you'll move with confidence. If you feed it doubt, you'll hesitate and miss opportunities. But if you feed it hope, you'll take bold steps toward your destiny. Now is the time to clean house. Get rid of negative influences. Shut off the noise of doubt and fear. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who stretch you, who speak life into your dreams. Be your own biggest cheerleader. Be your own biggest believer. And don't you dare wait until things are perfect to be positive. Be positive when it's hard. Be positive when it's dark. Be positive when no one else sees the vision but you. That's the kind of mindset that builds legacies. That's the kind of attitude that creates history. Because people who walk in positivity, they walk in power. They take action not because they have no fear, but because they believe something greater is ahead. So I say to you today, feed your faith, starve your doubt. Walk by vision, not by sight. And when life tries to pull you under, when people disappoint you, when the road gets lonely, don't you shrink back, don't you fold, smile anyway, rise anyway, keep speaking life anyway. Because positivity is not about what's happening to you. It's about what you decide to do with it. You want to win, then you've got to think like a winner. You want to break through, then you've got to talk like you've already made it. You want to change your world, then change your words, change your thoughts, and change your mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got the power. It's inside you. It's been there all along. So lift your head, straighten your back, and walk boldly into your future. Because your story is not over yet. In fact, it's just getting started. Stay positive, stay powerful, stay hungry. Let's go. Let me know if you want this converted into a voiceover script, subtitle file, or thumbnail caption too. Your attitude determines your altitude. That simple truth can change the entire trajectory of your life. You see, life doesn't respond to your complaints. It responds to your character, your courage, and most importantly, your attitude. How you show up every day matters. Not just when things are going your way, but especially when everything seems to be working against you. That's when your true altitude is measured. When the storm hits and you have to decide whether you'll be a victim or victor. I want you to think about an airplane. When it's on the ground, it's vulnerable. It's surrounded by limitations, but when it gets up into the sky, when it hits altitude, it becomes powerful, unstoppable, and above the noise. That's what your life can be like when your attitude is right. Your attitude is your lift. Your attitude is what takes you above the doubt, the fear, and the circumstances that try to hold you down. Let me ask you something. When challenges hit, how do you respond? Do you panic? Do you complain? Do you fold up and call it quits? Or do you square your shoulders, lift your head, and say, "This too shall pass. I've got what it takes. I'm still in the fight"? Because that right there, that mindset, is the difference between people who live with hope and people who live in defeat. One sees the obstacle and gives up. The other sees the opportunity and grows up. Your attitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. No, that's fantasy. Positivity is not denial. It's dominion. It means you own the space you walk in. It means you carry light into dark places. It means when others are panicking, you are preparing. It means when others are breaking down, you're building up. Not because life is easy, but because your mind is strong, and it's something you have to work on daily. That's the thing. Attitude is a choice you make every morning before your feet even hit the ground. You decide, today I will look for what's working. Today I will speak what I want to see. Today I will encourage someone else even if I need encouragement myself. That's what champions do. That's how leaders think. That's how winners rise. When I was down, broken, and unsure of my next move, it wasn't talent that got me back up. It wasn't my degrees. It wasn't who I knew. It was my attitude. I had to tell myself, "You're not done yet. You've still got fight in you. You've still got purpose on the inside. This may be tough, but you're tougher." And you know what? The moment I changed my mindset, my world started to change too. Because your attitude affects your actions, and your actions create your outcomes. You can't walk around with a defeated spirit and expect to win. You can't complain about your lack of progress while feeding yourself negative thoughts day after day. What you focus on, you feel. What you believe, you build. And what you speak, you start to see. So stop waiting for life to be perfect before you smile. Stop waiting for everything to fall into place before you decide to believe again. Decide right now, today, to live from a higher altitude, see further, speak stronger, stand taller, act like you belong where you're going, because you do. You weren't meant for the valley, you were built for the mountaintop. And let me tell you something else. Your attitude is contagious. People feel your energy before you say a word. Walk into the room with purpose, with power, with peace. Let them feel your certainty. Let them see your commitment. Let them watch how you navigate the storm and still move with grace. That's how you inspire others. Not with what you say, but how you live. You've got the gift. You've got the dream. Now match it with the attitude. The altitude will follow. Don't settle for a low lying life when you were born to soar. It's time to rise. It's time to lead. It's time to live from the power inside of you. Change your attitude and you'll change your altitude. Every single time, your words are seeds and your mind is the soil. Whatever you plant, water, and nurture will eventually grow. If you keep speaking doubt, fear, and defeat over your life, don't be surprised when that's all you see around you. But when you speak possibility, strength, and victory, even when it feels like everything is falling apart, something begins to shift. Words create worlds, and your words are painting the picture of your future, whether you realize it or not. You've got to learn to speak life over yourself. Speak life over your dreams, over your family, over your future. You see, too many people spend their days replaying negative narratives in their heads. I'm not good enough. I've failed too many times. I'll never get out of this. But here's what I've learned. What you keep rehearsing becomes your reality. So if you want to change your life, you've got to change your language. Stop using your mouth to describe your situation and start using it to declare your transformation. Every word you speak carries power. Creative power, spiritual power, emotional power. It either lifts you or limits you. That's why it's so important to guard your mouth and train your mind. Don't speak what you fear. Speak what you expect. Declare what you're believing for, even if it hasn't shown up yet. Talk like your breakthrough is on the way. Act like the healing is already happening. Walk like the job is yours. That's not foolishness, that's faith in motion. I remember a time in my life when nothing made sense. Doors were closing, friends were few, and everything inside me wanted to give up. But something said, keep speaking life. So I did. Every day I would declare, this is not the end. Something greater is coming. I am strong. I am chosen. I am enough. And slowly the weight started lifting. Opportunities began appearing. My perspective shifted. My energy returned. Why? Because I stopped feeding my fear and started fueling my faith. With my words, let me make this plain. If you keep speaking lack, you'll keep living in lack. If you keep saying, I'm tired, you'll feel more exhausted. But if you say, I am energized, I'm being renewed, I'm rising again, your body and spirit will start aligning with that truth. It may take time, but it will happen. Don't curse your future with careless conversation. Don't talk yourself out of the victory that's already been prepared for you. Speak life, even if it's just a whisper at first. Sometimes the greatest battle is the one in your mouth. You've got to win that battle before you win in life. And I'm not just talking about what you say to others. I'm talking about what you say when no one's watching. What you say when the door is closed, the bills are piling up, the pain is deep, and the hope is low. That's where true transformation begins, not on the outside, but in the quiet places of your own voice. I challenge you for the next 7 days, monitor every word that comes out of your mouth. Replace complaints with gratitude. Swap out self-doubt for self-belief. Trade in fear. Talk for faith. Talk, watch what happens. You'll feel a shift in your energy. You'll begin to walk differently. People will notice the light in your eyes again. Not because the situation changed overnight, but because you changed. And that's where real power lies. You were not created to speak like a victim. You were born to speak as a visionary. So start talking like it. Speak with authority. Speak with boldness. Speak with the fire of someone who knows that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Because they are. And when you speak life, you create life. So I ask you today, what are you speaking over your life? What are you declaring over your future? If it's not building you up, it's breaking you down. Speak wisely. Speak powerfully. Speak as someone who knows that everything can change with just one decision. And that decision starts with the words that leave your mouth. Speak life every day, every situation, every setback. Speak life until your words become your reality. Your attitude is the paintbrush that colors your world. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can absolutely control how you respond. And I need you to hear me. Your attitude is the one thing that nobody can take away from you. Life may throw punches, storms may come, people might walk away, but your attitude, that's yours. It's your superpower. And if you learn how to guard it, protect it, and cultivate it, there is nothing, I mean nothing, you can't overcome. See, most people are reactionary. Something happens and their emotions hijack their day. They spill coffee and the whole morning is ruined. One phone call and they spiral into anxiety. But when you understand the power of your attitude, you begin to see things differently. You begin to say, I choose peace, I choose purpose, I choose progress. You begin to respond, not react. And that right there, that's growth. It takes strength to stay positive when everything seems negative. It takes a champion mindset to say, this hurts, but it won't break me. You've got to become the kind of person who shows up with light in dark places. Who speaks hope when everyone else is complaining? Who sees solutions when others only see problems? That's what a winning attitude does. It shifts the atmosphere. And I promise you, when you walk into a room with an attitude of power, peace, and positivity, people feel it. They know there's something different about you. You are not your circumstances. You are not what they said about you. You are not your past. You are what you choose to become. And your attitude is the steering wheel that gets you there. If your attitude is broken, your vision will be blurred. You'll drive right past opportunities because you're too busy complaining. But when your attitude is aligned with purpose, with hope, with gratitude, now you're unstoppable. Doors open. People take notice. God starts positioning you for the next level. Now, I'm not telling you to fake it. I'm telling you to faith it. I'm telling you that even when life is hard, you can choose to stand tall. Even when tears are falling, you can say, I will not give up. You can look yourself in the mirror and declare, I am more than this moment. That's not pretending, that's preparation, that's programming your spirit for victory. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to have a good attitude. You've got to decide before the storm hits that you will not be moved. You've got to decide before the rejection that you are still worthy. You've got to decide before the setback that you will bounce back stronger. That kind of mental discipline takes effort. It takes intention. But I'm telling you, it's the difference between living life at the mercy of emotions and living with emotional mastery. Your attitude determines your altitude. Say that with me. My attitude determines my altitude. The higher you want to go in life, the stronger your attitude must be. Weak attitudes can't handle high elevations. That's why some people keep crashing. They've got dreams in the sky, but a mindset stuck on the ground. Every day, life is asking you, how will you show up today? And every day, your attitude answers. So make it count, make it powerful. Choose to wake up with gratitude instead of grumbling. Choose to speak faith instead of fear. Choose to see opportunity even in adversity. It's not always easy, but it's always possible. You don't have to be perfect to have a powerful attitude. You just have to be committed to showing up, committed to growing, committed to becoming the best version of yourself. And when that commitment is real, it shows in how you walk, how you talk, how you treat people, and how you carry yourself through storms. So the next time life tries to knock you down, you look it square in the face and say, you picked the wrong one. I've trained for this. I've got the right attitude. I'm not backing down, I'm rising up. Because winners don't wait for life to get easier. They get stronger. And it all starts with attitude. Change your attitude and you'll change your life. Every day, every choice, every challenge. Let your attitude be the fire that fuels your greatness. Your thoughts shape your future. Every dream you've ever had, every goal you've whispered to yourself late at night, begins in the same place, in your mind. The battlefield of life isn't out there in the world. It's right between your ears. If you don't learn how to control your thoughts, they will control you. And the most dangerous prison in the world is the one you build inside your own head. See, I'm talking to somebody who has dreams buried beneath years of doubt. I'm talking to someone who used to believe, but life knocked the wind out of you. I'm telling you right now, if you want to change your life, the first thing you've got to do is train your mind to believe again. To believe that you're worthy, that you're capable, that you have what it takes. Because if your mind can't conceive it, your hands will never achieve it. You've got to rewire the way you think. Most people walk around with mental programs installed by fear, failure, and other people's opinions. You've got to uninstall that garbage. Get rid of the voices in your head telling you what you can't do. Get rid of the echo of past mistakes. Your mind is sacred ground, and you've got to guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day you are feeding your mind something, and what you feed it will grow. If you feed it doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what will take root. But if you feed it discipline, belief, and vision, then you will start to grow a mindset that cannot be stopped. That's not just motivation, that's mental conditioning. Champions don't become great on the field. They become great in the mind long before they ever compete. When you train your mind, you start to see things differently. You stop running from the storm and start running through it. You stop seeing obstacles as stop signs and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." That's the power of a trained mind. It shifts your perspective. It turns pressure into purpose and pain into power. Some of you are one mindset shift away from a breakthrough. You're one thought away from making that call, from starting that business, from getting back up again. But you've been rehearsing limitations instead of greatness. Let me remind you, your past does not define you. Your mistakes don't disqualify you. Your fears are not the final word. But you've got to convince yourself of that. No one else can think for you. No one else can believe for you. You've got to do the work in your own mind. Train your mind to think like a victor, not a victim. That doesn't mean life won't throw dirt on you. It will, but when your mind is trained, you'll know how to grow through it. Like a seed buried in the soil, you'll push through the dirt and rise up strong. Because a trained mind doesn't panic under pressure it performs. It doesn't break in crisis. It builds. It doesn't retreat in fear, it rises in faith. Every morning you wake up, you've got a choice. You can feed the fear or feed your faith. You can feed your excuses or feed your execution. You can feed your comfort zone or feed your growth. The mind, just like the body, responds to what you put in it. So stop consuming junk, mentally and emotionally, and start feeding yourself truth, strength, and strategy. You've got to practice this every day. Read things that expand you. Speak words that empower you. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking. You can't afford to let negativity be your roommate anymore. Evict it. Replace it with wisdom. Replace it with purpose. Replace it with positive reinforcement until your default thoughts become disciplined thoughts. You don't need a perfect background. You don't need a 10-step plan. You need a made-up mind, that says, "I'm not who I used to be. I'm not staying stuck. I'm becoming everything I was created to be." That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you become unstoppable. So take the time to train your mind, because when your mind is strong, your life gets strong. When your mind is focused, your steps become bold. And when your mind is free from doubt, free from fear, free from limitation, then and only then will you rise to your true potential. Your mind is your greatest asset. Train it well, and it will take you further than you ever imagined. You can't just live life reacting to everything thrown your way. You've got to decide in advance who you're going to be and what you're going to stand for. If you don't set the tone for your own life, the world will set it for you, and I promise you, this world is not in the business of handing out clarity or peace or purpose. You've got to choose that for yourself. You've got to wake up every day and take ownership of your emotions, your focus, your attitude. That's how you build mental resilience. That's how you create internal power. That's how you win the war in your mind before the world ever even gets a shot at you. See, your mind is like a thermostat. You've got to set it, and if you don't, someone else will. If you don't control what you think and how you think, outside influences will creep in and take over. That bad news on TV, that gossip at work, that toxic conversation you overheard, those things are subtle, but they shift your mindset. They pull you away from your goals. They weaken your focus. And the more distracted you become, the more powerless you feel. That's why you've got to protect your mental environment the same way you protect your home. You wouldn't let just anyone walk into your house and start throwing trash around. So why let just any thought walk into your head and live there rent-free? You've got to build a habit of checking in with yourself. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Is it helping me or hurting me? Is this mindset moving me forward or pulling me back? If you're not asking those questions, then you're drifting. And people don't achieve greatness by drifting. People who accomplish something significant in life, who leave a mark, they are deliberate about the way they think. They are deliberate about the way they feel. They don't just live on default. They live on purpose. And let me tell you something. You have the power to reframe anything. You can take that disappointment, that setback, that loss, and flip it into fuel. You can train your mind to see every problem as preparation, every delay as development, every no as a setup for a better yes. That's not delusion, that's discipline. You're not lying to yourself. You're leading yourself. Because if you don't lead your mind, your emotions will. And emotions are great passengers, but they make terrible drivers. When you take control of your internal world, your external world starts to shift. You start walking differently, talking differently, believing differently. You stop waiting for motivation and start operating on commitment. You stop needing applause and start moving off conviction. That's what mental discipline does. It gives you consistency. It keeps you going when nobody's watching, when no one's clapping, when the reward is still far away. And yes, it's going to take work. This isn't something you do once and expect miracles. You've got to repeat it every day. You've got to affirm who you are every day. You've got to recommit to your purpose every day, because the enemy of your destiny is not the failure you see. It's the comfort you don't challenge. It's the distractions you don't confront. It's the excuses you don't silence. You don't rise to the level of your talent. You fall to the level of your training. So train your mind to stay locked in, even when life tries to knock you out. Stop letting the world program you. Stop letting fear narrate your story. Take control. Take the wheel. Be the author. Be the captain. Be the architect of your thoughts, because those thoughts will build your reality. Your mind is a weapon, sharpen it. Your mind is a tool, master it. Your mind is a garden, cultivate it. Because at the end of the day, the most dangerous thing isn't the opposition outside, it's the doubt inside. And when you conquer that, when you discipline your thoughts, when you own your inner dialogue, there is no limit to what you can become. So decide right now, I will not be a slave to fear. I will not be distracted by negativity. I will not be held hostage by limiting beliefs. I will lead my thoughts. I will protect my mind. I will stay focused on my assignment, no matter how hard it gets. That's the power of a trained mind. That's how you rise. That's how you win every single day.